Hey there, friend. It's Nick, and I've been thinking about getting old. Age is very much on my mind this week because yesterday I took out my old mate George, who is 98 and a half. And in fact, George used to live in the place where I am now sitting. This was his house. We lived next door. And as I've said on the podcast, if you listen to the podcast, storyhacker.tv, if you go there, you'll find a link to the podcast. George is my inspiration because at 98 years old, he is funny and way more articulate than I am sometimes, and just friendly. He's a good guy. He's managed to keep away that kind of old age grumpiness, and it made me think, as it always does whenever I see George, about the good things about going old. And I guess, as the saying goes, getting old is the worst possible thing apart from the alternative. And sometimes it feels like that is true. But in relation to storytelling, I think, one of the things is that the best thing about growing old is experience, right? Because we do make mistakes, some of us a lot. We make mistakes and we consequently learn. And we have that pool of experience to draw on and to talk about. And I think, for those of you who are interested in telling powerful stories, the fact that we can draw on a wealth of experience, real experience, is so valuable. I'm going out tonight to celebrate my dad's 75th birthday, and he's the same. Some of the stuff that he's done has been amazing. He played tennis at Junior Wimbledon. He played rugby for his county. He's done a lot of stuff. He was in the Ordnance Survey, then he became a vicar. I mean, there's so much wealth that gets accumulated, and stories, of course, are one of the ways in which we pass that along, that kind of wisdom along. Anyway, I know what I was going to say. I said earlier on in the week, last Friday, a week ago, we went to my friend's 50th birthday party, and talking about learning from experience, that she was 50, and that means that it's 20 years since the last time I got so drunk that I didn't know where I was or what I was doing. And let's just say I embarrassed myself, because that happened at her 30th birthday party. And I woke up the next morning and I wasn't in bed. I was in a chair in a whole other room. And the first things I said was, I didn't remember anything, but I knew if you're in a whole different room and you've dressed in whole different clothes, I knew it was bad, and it was bad. And Wendy, my wife, says she remembers that morning very well, because the first words she heard coming out of my mouth were, "Oh no." So experience is useful for stories, but it also teaches us, right? And 20 years ago, I finally learned my lesson.